Okay, so you see, yesterday we had discussed this, so I'll just go through it again in a bit fast manner, and then we'll proceed further. We had discussed this four center method, and as I had mentioned, this is an approximate method, but it's very fast and of course it's say yeah. So it is very fast and it actually gives very good result. I mean, very nice diagram we can achieve with it. So if we have a circle like it is shown over here, and then we have to obtain it in the isometric view, then what we need to do is that this circle we encompass within this square, which is shown here with the light green lines, right? So we encompass it within this square, and now it is easy to obtain this isometric view for the square. So when we consider it to be in the top view, then it will be like this. When we draw this what we call the top view for the square, it looks like a rhombus in this fashion. And thereafter we locate the four centers. So for that, first of all, we look at the midpoints in these all four lines, and then we join the corner at the obtuse angle, this one, with the midpoints A and B. Likewise, from this corner with D and C. Okay. So like this, we draw the line, and finally we can look at four centers, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have to draw the circular arcs from these. From center 1, the radius will become 1 to A or 1 to B, and we draw the arc. Then same thing is replicated from 2. From 3, the radius is 3 to A or 3 to D, and a smaller arc, and the same is repeated at 4. And for the case when it's not considered to be top view, rather it is front view or side view, then we have a rhombus like this. Again, the midpoints located A, B, C, D, and then we join again from the corner having the obtuse angle. We actually join the other two midpoints, okay, and then we locate the four centers, 1, 2, 3, 4, and again similar to the previous case, we can draw the circular arcs and complete this. Next, one more illustration based on this thing we can have a look at. So when say you don't need to draw the complete circle, only part of it is to be drawn, right? So like we take this case. So you have a circular arc here, and you have circular arc here. At those two locations have the circular arcs. But of course it is only part of the circle, right? Rather it is quarter of a circle. Now when we will draw the isometric view for this, then we have got straight lines. We have straight line here, here, and also at this place and at this place. At all these places we have the straight lines. Apart from that, this portion is joined with a circular arc, and this portion also joined with a circular arc. So this is what we have to reproduce. The straight lines, of course, we can draw, because I mean we can draw easily because these will be all isometric lines. This is a rectangle which is being formed, right? If we try to complete, you see here it's completed with the green lines. The same way here also it's completed. Finally, it is becoming a rectangle. So for the rectangle, all the sides will be isometric lines, and we can easily draw them in the isometric view. Then will remain the question of this arc. So for arc, you see a small square has been formed here and also here. Now see, if we compare it with the circle, it's only quarter of a circle. And this part actually will be this, I mean this small square what has been drawn here. This small square is only quarter of the complete square, right? The complete square, if I draw a line from here, it will be like this. This is 25 radius, right? If from midpoint I draw a line, then it will form a 50, a square with 50 sides. So this 50 side square will be the complete square. This is only a quarter part of that square. Okay. So now let us have a look. So if it is considered to be the top view, we'll have the two isometric axes inclined 30 degree. Okay. One here, both inclined 30 degree. So the 100 mm length has been taken along this line. Okay. Then we complete this rectangle, whatever has been drawn, and then we have to consider the square, right? If we consider this to be the complete circle, it will be something like this. You have to consider the square which will be encompassing this. So actually for this particular drawing, this is one square, this is another square. This square will serve the purpose for this, and this is, I mean, of course, here these are two rhombuses. Two rhombus we are obtaining, not a square, but here it will be square. So this one is for this one, and this one is for this. Okay. So now you see this part eventually will have to be drawn here, and here you have the acute angle. So you see, actually we'll have only, so with four center method, what do we do is we draw the four circular arcs. So only one arc will be sufficient to complete this arc, right? So only the small, I mean here for the small arc, the center is to be located, and then we can draw it. So this is an obtuse angle corner. From here the midpoint is to be joined. This corner midpoint is to be joined, and we'll have the center for this part. The remaining part we don't need to construct. Okay, so this is drawn, and with this as the center, this much as the radius, we draw this, right? Same way for this thing, here it is to be drawn. So bigger arc you will need, right? And this is the obtuse angle corner. So you see this will become the center, this midpoint, this radius you measure, and you will have to draw it like this, right? So this is what we have to do from here, an arc with this. Okay. Then of course rest of the parts are straight lines only can be completed. Next we can proceed to the front view thing also. So that is now shown like this. Okay. Again the mid parts, so that we can have two rhombuses, desired one. Now this part is, here you will have the bigger arc, here you will have the smaller arc, and as we have discussed, the same thing you need to do. Okay. So with this as the center here, this as the center, the bigger arc can be drawn from this point to this point. And the next center is to be located, right? So with the obtuse angle side, one line, obtuse angle side, one line. This gives the center, and we draw the arc. So this is completed. Okay. Yeah, so this is when you have to draw the part circle. Sometimes you need to draw the semicircle, then you need two arcs. For these cases, it was only quarter of a circle, so only needed one arc to be drawn. Then one or two cases we can just have a brief look at. So now suppose if we have to draw isometric view for a pentagonal pyramid, right? So for this case, in general, you will have a top view and front view available to you. For this slide, I don't have that, but yeah, you have this available to you. Then how can we proceed? We can discuss. So first of all, see the top view configuration for the pentagon is to be achieved like this. By like this, what I mean is, you will have to first of all, the top view you will have to encompass within a square. Then that square will look like a what do you call rhombus. So for the top view configuration, rhombus will look like the way it is shown in this diagram, right? So this rhombus you achieve, and then on the isometric lines, all the corners you will have to locate, and the pentagon can be obtained. So this will be the base for this pentagonal pyramid, right? So this base is drawn like this. Okay. So you locate these two isometric lines, axis 30-degree inclined to the horizontal axis because it is top view configuration. Then you make this rhombus, you look at all the corners, okay, and then you can join these all points, okay. So that will give the base. Now for this pentagonal base is then obtained, but now what we have to do is we have to obtain the height also. So for case of pyramid, whenever it is the case of pyramid, what we can do is we can locate the center here, and then from the center we can draw the vertical line with length equal to height, okay. And of course, if it will be isometric projection, then you will have to obtain the corresponding reduced length as per isometric scale. But anyways, with the given height, if we can look at the center, we can simply add the height over here. So that is what we need to do for the pyramids. Okay, so we draw an isometric line, and on this, like if we have the top view of the pentagonal pyramid, there you will already have this apex located at the geometric center of the pentagon. In the top view of the pentagonal pyramid, apex will be located at the geometric center. So from this corner in the top view, here this is isometric view, but in the actual orthographic top view, if you will have a line from this E, and you will be locating the geometric center in that top view. So the same we can replicate here, because this line being parallel to this will be an isometric line. So you'll measure the distance of geometric center from the orthographic view and mark the geometric center here. That is what we need to do. Okay. Now the height of the pyramid can be added, and then you can join all the corners. One edge is hidden edge here. If needed, in particular to depict it, it can be drawn. Generally, it can be escaped from drawing, right? Now we can, after completing all these edges, we can remove the other construction part. So it will be like this. This B is there, but you don't need to show it. And in particular cases, for the case like this, we can show the hidden lines also if you want to, but in general it is not done. Okay, so this is the pentagonal pyramid. Next, let us consider the frustum of a square pyramid. So when you have pyramid, pyramid. When you have a pyramid, then apex we located in the previous slide. Directly the apex was located right above the geometric center. Okay, so first we located the geometric center in the previous slide, and for that we have to use the orthographic view. Using that, we'll locate the geometric center and then obtain the apex. Now here we won't have a specific apex, rather we'll have the top surface for the frustum. If we have a frustum of a pyramid, then top surface of this frustum will be exactly maintaining the same shape as that of base, but the size will be reduced, right? So we'll have something like this, top view and front view for this bar pyramid. So first of all, we can draw the in the top view configuration, this what do you call, the base of the pyramid, right? So we draw two axes inclined 30-degree with the horizontal, right? And then on this square, this is square, whatever we are having here, this is square will be reproduced, right? Now of course, this rhombus what we have obtained here for corresponding to this square, this represents all the sides of the base. Okay. Now for the top part, of course, the height we have from here is 60 is the height. So from all the corners we can obtain this height. But with that, what will happen? When we draw these and join, we'll have this square again. Here also, whatever rhombus we are achieving, this will be exactly same as the bottom face. So whenever we have to draw isometric view of a prism, then you see top and bottom. This is the bottom, this is the top. These will be exactly same for a prism. But now it is a frustum of a pyramid, so our construction won't end here. If it is a prism, then you will simply darken all the visible edges and hidden edges can be removed and it is complete. But for this case, what will happen? You will have to draw the top surface which is having reduced size. So it will not be exactly this much, it will be less. For that, what we have to do is we have to reproduce these edges. So that means this corner, this corner, this corner, this corner. These we have to locate. One here, one here, one here, one here. Okay. So again, we can use the isometric lines. So like if this edge you consider, it is an isometric line. So simply consider a line from this end up to this. Complete it. Extend it up to here and here. Then distance from this point up to this point you can easily mark from this up to this. Then you will draw parallel to this from here to here, this line marked. Likewise, you will do for this line. Okay. So this will come up to here. This distance we can measure here and mark onto this. This line can be marked like this. So like this, 4 lines we'll draw, and eventually we'll of course get these 4 corners. If all these 4 lines like this, like this, like this, if we are drawing, then these can be drawn in the isometric view and the 4 corners can be located. So one line, this distance you measure from here to here, mark it here, draw this line. Likewise, next one, same manner, then these two. So all the corners are located now, right? So now these will be these corners and we can join this. This corner can be joined with this corner. This corner can be joined with this corner. Okay. So like this, all the 4 corners of the top surface will be joined with the 4 corners of the bottom. In case suppose here it is a simpler case, no? Square frustum of a square pyramid. If it is some other shape also, now you can very well identify. Like if it is say again pentagonal, then what will you will have to do? You will have to encompass pentagon in a square like this. If it is a pentagonal pyramid, frustum of a pentagonal pyramid, you will have a square here, you will have a square here, and on these edges actually you will have the corners of the pentagon. So those corners you will locate along these, because measurements along these lines can be directly done. So corners located here, and then again you will locate this smaller square and corners on this smaller square you will have to locate, and then corresponding edges to be joined. So like this you can go ahead with the construction for the frustums. For this case, of course, we directly need to complete it here. Okay. Yeah. So the darker lines are all visible lines. Remaining part can be removed. In this slide, it's not removed, but yeah, that is what you'll have to do. You can remove the hidden line.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, please.
Sir, is it necessary to remove the construction part after darkening?
Yeah, that is what is expected. Of course, if somebody is lacking time and something is remaining, it won't result in any huge loss of marks, like marks will be just made half or nothing like that. Some minor deduction will be there. But that is what in general is done. Construction lines are removed for isometric view in particular. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Uh, Now I talked about a special case, right? So this is the special case. In the first lecture, I was talking about the special case. So that special case is shown on this slide. So what we have here is like we can see in this orthographic view. What we have here is this sphere. Here we have a sphere. We see a circle, but this is front view of a sphere. And then we see this. This is front view of a square plate. It is a plate which is a square in shape. We can call it a prism also, right? So it is a square prism with less height. So on top of this square plate, a sphere has been placed. Okay. So when we have to draw its isometric projection, then its top view of course is not given in this, but as I'm saying that this is a square plate. So square plate will look like this, that you know, right? Part of it is hidden behind this sphere. Then this sphere has been placed over here. So drawing a square plate, of course, everyone will be doing 30-degree inclined lines. This distance is known, right? So what is being done is, first of all, true lengths are drawn in on this 45-degree line. Then those are brought onto this 30-degree inclined line. So you'll have the reduced length as per the isometric scale. 15 will become this much, right? Likewise, 25 will be from this point up to this, or 50 will be from this point up to this. So these dimensions have been mentioned as ISO 50, ISO 25, ISO 15 in this diagram. You don't have to do this when you are drawing. Here, for the sake of understanding, the isometric lengths have been mentioned with ISO 50, ISO 15. This is for our understanding. When you are making a drawing, you have to do the simple dimensioning the way we have been doing so far, right? Draw the lines parallel to any relevant dimension and then mention the dimensions. That is what you have to do. Don't write ISO or anything. Yeah, so these are the isometric lengths, you see. This is a reduced length, this is a reduced length, right? All these. Now here one uh, peculiar case arises because this object is a sphere. And what is that peculiar case? For the case of a sphere, you can try to visualize. If we consider a sphere, then you may try to project the sphere on any plane inclined with any kind of inclinations with the reference planes. We have this horizontal vertical plane, right? Now suppose you place a sphere on the horizontal plane. So its top view and front view both will be simply a circle whose radius will be equal to the radius of the sphere, right? So front view, top view are same, identical. Now assume any plane which is a auxiliary inclined plane. Okay, choose any auxiliary inclined plane and try to project onto that. Then also you will get a circle as the projection with the radius equal to radius of sphere. So for the case of sphere, actually you project it on any kind of plane. By any kind, what I mean is it might have any kind of inclinations with the reference planes. The resulting projection will always remain a circle with the radius equal to radius of sphere, right? So that is why when we obtain the isometric projection also, it will maintain that true dimension. Its radius will not be reduced. Getting a point? We have discussed that when we place a cube with a peculiar orientation where its all faces are maintaining the same inclination with the plane of projection, then all of them become rhombus, all the faces, and with a very specific kind of reduction in the length. That's what we have discussed for isometric projection. But this thing will not be valid for the sphere. So when a sphere will be projected on this plane, right, this isometric plane, then also it will maintain the same radius. That is the true length it will maintain in the projection. So that is why here you see it's mentioned SR25. So this is not this from this O to this radius is not the isometric length. Okay, this is the true length. Fine. Yeah. Now let us get back to this projection. So as we discussed, what we are doing, we are drawing the isometric projection. We are using the lengths obtained on this isometric scale. So this is a reduced less than 50, right? 50 will become this much. Actual 50 is this much. Now, how about locating the center of this sphere? Now here this P actually is representing the point where this sphere is touching this square plate. So in this front view, of course, OP simply collinear, and also they look collinear with this AB. But actually, if this sphere is centrally placed on the square plate, then this P will be at the geometric center of the plate. So in this isometric view, this P is on the geometric center. So particularly for a square plate, readily you can obtain it with the intersection of these two lines, because that is easy to obtain for a square plate. So this P is located here. Fine. Beyond that, what? We have to locate this O exactly above P. Now this straight line, this distance from here to here, this actually will be an isometric projection, and that is why this will be reduced. It will be an isometric. It is reduced length. Okay, in the vertical direction, whatever lengths we are taking, those have to be taken on this. So this is ISO 25. Okay, like this is ISO 50. This is ISO 25. But the radius is 25. So that is why, this is true length. Radius is true length, because in the isometric projection also, the sphere will continue to look like a circle of the same radius, of actual radius. So that's why we obtain this kind of shape what is visible in this diagram. Now there is a catch when we go ahead to draw the isometric view. And what is that? What will happen when we draw the isometric views? Then all these lines will not be on the reduced scale, reduced isometric scale. For isometric view, what we do is whatever is the dimension that directly we draw along the isometric lines. So this will become actual 50, this will become actual 50. Okay. But these won't directly affect what we anything. But this thing, now this here was a reduced length, but in isometric view, this will become actual 25, and this also is actual 25. So what will happen? This actual look, whatever is visible in this particular isometric projection, that will not be obtained in the isometric view. Instead, what will happen? This is 25 and this is also 25. So from radius, actually we'll end up drawing this circle which will pass through this point. Currently it is passing through this point or this location below this center, but it will end up passing through the geometric center if this is also maintaining the correct, this same length 25. For the case of isometric views, if such a diagram is to drawn, then what we do is, for the case of a sphere, you see here what has been done. So this diagram remains the same as the previous slide. Here what has been done, everything has been drawn with the same, like this is 50, as we discussed, this is 50, this is also 25, but the radius has been enhanced, so that like we had the view in the isometric projection there, the same thing is achieved in the isometric view also. So for that, what is done is this particular radius is enhanced, and for enhancing it, what is done is on this 30-degree line. So for isometric scale, what we do it on a 45-degree line, we draw the true length and we project it onto this 30-degree line, so as to obtain the reduced length for the isometric projection. So here we are doing the reverse. We are doing the reverse. So the true length this 25 is drawn along this 30-degree line, and then it is increased by projecting it to on this 45-degree line. Okay, so now this 25 will be getting enhanced by some amount, and when we draw this enhanced with this enhanced radius, then the exact view as per the isometric projection can be achieved for this particular drawing also. So this was a particular case where if we draw the isometric view, then an error creeps in, and to avoid that, what we do, that is what we have discussed, right? Yeah, there some people go for this approximation also, that this distance they continue to reduce. All these are not reduced, but this they continue to reduce and then draw it. But I think whatever is depicted here is a better option, right? That is increasing this radius of the circle, because as such, if in comparison to isometric projection, all the dimensions are enhanced dimensions in the isometric view. So to be consistent, we can enhance this radius as per this method given in this diagram. So this is all for today from my side. I can stop the recording.